We are building the bit by bit project from the YByte Python curriculum available at www.ybyte.in. Bit by bit is a project where we deal with binary numbers and bitwise operators. Let's start with very basic things. Let's start with understanding numbers and counting. Now, when I look at this kind of questions today, for example, how many balls or how many watermelons, how many, say, ice creams, how many gift boxes, the answer seems just obvious to us. But all of us at some point of time would do problems like this and would have to put some effort to count, say, one, two, three, four. And say, for example, in this case, one, two, three, four, five, six. So, basically today we don't think about these things too much because we have just got so comfortable with numbers. We just know how to count these things through, let's say, learning mathematics, through our experience and so on. In fact, over time we get so comfortable with numbers and digits that we don't think too much about them. We form bigger numbers comfortably. For example, let's say there were more than 10 items, or say 10 or more items, which means that we exhaust one digit, we just naturally go to two digits, three digits, four digits, and so on, all with relative ease. So basically in larger numbers, every digit, every number that we're putting in there has a place value and a face value. For example, 213. So the face value for 3 is 3, face value for 1 is 1, of course. Face value for 2 is 2. However, the place value is that of, let's say, units, or say ones, tens, hundreds, and so on. So it's like, 213 is basically 200 plus 10 plus 3. Now, somehow, we learn this formally, but also it becomes quite natural to us because, we use these numbers in our day-to-day life. We can take a slightly more formal, a slightly different view here. Like I said, everything is based on, let's say, place value and face value. Face value for the number is always, say, 0 to 9, but there's a place value depending on where the number is. So, for example, the last digit has got a place value of 10 to the power of 0. Uh, Digit before that has a place value of 10 to the power of 1, which is 10, 10 to the power of 2, 10 to the power of 3, and so on and so forth. Now, this 10 is not a coincidence. This is coming because we have 10 symbols to count. So that is 0 until 9. There are totally 10 symbols to count, each having their own, let's say, value. Um, Now, just imagine for a moment that we were living in a world which had only two symbols, the first two symbols, the first two digits, that is, say, 0 and 1. And, the values were exactly the same. So 0 for a 0 and 1 for a 1. And let's say that's all we would have. Let's say that's all we had, and we had to count in that world. Before going there, you might wonder, why would I want to imagine a world of that sort? Because remember, as we discussed, inside a computer, that is how things are. Ones and zeros, also known as binary digits, or say in short, bits. It turns out that, in fact, we can count with binary numbers. The process is exactly the same as what we are doing with decimal numbers, though in the beginning it doesn't look like that. So the way it works is exactly what we do. Start with, let's say, one digit, then go to two digits, three digits, four digits. In the same way, we start with a single bit, then go to 2 bits, then go to 3 bits, 4 bits, and so on and so forth. Just like in decimal number, every bit that we are putting in, which is basically 0 or 1, has a place value multiplier. So the basic principles remain the same. Of course, there are some details that we must understand, as we move forward. So, like I said, the way we count, remember, let's look at the decimal values first and then the binary. So remember, decimal, we have got 10 symbols starting from 0 going to 9. So I just keep going in a single digit, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 until 9. At this point, nowhere to go because, well, in one digit, I can only represent, say, 10 numbers. I must go to two digits. And what do? I bring this back to, let's say, the lowest digit. So this becomes 0. And then I start with the, let's say, a 1 here, right? Because previously you can imagine this was 0 and now this has become 1. So then I go from 10, 11, 12, 13, all the way to 19. I go to 20. Keep moving at 99. It's 99. So I go to 100, which is 100 in decimal. In fact, the process is very similar. What do I mean by that? Remember, 0 is 0, 1 is 1, but the moment I have done 1 here, I have nowhere to go because there's only 2 bits possible, which means that I must get an extra bit, kind of like going from, let's say, 10 to 11 in decimal case. I must get this extra bit. Hence, the lower significant, this is called the least significant bit, the last right side bit becomes 0. This becomes 1. So I go from 1 0 1 1. Again, nowhere to go. Now, this is kind of like going from 99 to, let's say, 100 binary. Here, in decimal, sorry. Here we are going from 11 to 100, which in values is basically going from 3 to 4, because this is 3 and this is 4 in binary. Now, this is where, some amount of practice, some amount of, let's say, understanding is required. We'll discuss that in a moment, but I just wanted to realize that the process is in fact exactly the same, that we are counting up every time we run out of the numbers that we can represent. We just add a new, let's say, a bit in this case. Just like decimal numbers, like we discussed, there's a notion of place value and face value. But as you can imagine, all right, as you can imagine, everything here is basis of 2, because there are only two symbols. Remember when it was base of 10, that's why it's called decimal. The lowest digit had a place value of 10 to the power 0. In binary case, it is 2 to the power of 0. 2 to the power 1, 2 to the power 2, which is 4, 8, 16, and so on. It looks daunting in the beginning, but see the similarity. There are two symbols. That's why this must mean 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1, 2 to the power 2, and so on and so forth. Which means that 10011 in binary is equivalent to, 1 times 1, that is this 1 times 1, plus 1 times 2, plus 0 times 4, plus 0 times 8, plus 1 times 16. And that's why this is equivalent to 19 in decimal. Now, one of the major, let's say, challenges on, you can also see this as an opportunity in bitwise operators, is to get comfortable with binary numbers. But the point is, the logic to sort of build them is very similar to what's happening in decimal. In a later video, we'll see how we can comfortably, or let's say conveniently, convert between decimal to binary, binary to decimal, and so on. That will make it somewhat easier. But the logic and, the principle behind that is important to understand. So let me summarize this with what I call the moral of the story, that, look, every number, no matter how large, has an equivalent binary representation. It looks somewhat different, obviously, because we are using only zeros and ones. But really, binary numbers are quite similar to decimal numbers, except that there are only two digits known as bits given by 0 and 1. Now, similarity is understood best by just doing some comparison. The place value of a binary bit in a binary number can be computed by looking at the powers of 2, which means 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1, 2 to the power 2, and so on. Just like for decimal case, it was powers of 10. So it was 10 to the power 0, 10 to the power 1, and so on. Now it's 2 to the power of 0. A b-bit binary number can take on all values between 0 to 2 to the power b minus 1. Now, this actually is a very, very important fact. Again, think a moment about this. Take some examples. For example, if we have a 4-bit number, it can hold values from, say, 0 to 2 to the power 4 minus 1, which is 15. What does it mean? That if I have a number between 0 and 15, both included, I can represent that number as a 4-bit number. The moment I want to do something like, let's say, 17, 18, I have to go to a fifth bit. In fact, if I go more than 31, which is 2 to the power of 5 minus 1, I will need 6 bits. In a similar manner, 8-bit numbers can hold values from 0 to 2 to the power of 8 minus 1, which is 255. Now, this 8-bit is particularly interesting to us because in our discussion, we limit ourselves to 8 bits. Because also 8 bits is called a byte. So generally, it's 8-bit is like a very logical unit to sort of let's say understand some of these things, right? So we will basically deal with numbers that go from 0 to 255. This will be very vivid when we do, for example, the image, and manipulate its pixels. Now, this all of this may look a little strange, but once again, it helps to just understand this in a compare and contrast manner with respect to decimal numbers. Remember, a two-digit decimal number can go from 0 to 10 to the power of 2 minus 1, which is 99. And this is so familiar. We know that two digits, I can go from 00 to, say, 99. At that point, the next number is 100. And that's because I've kind of reached the end of the line here, both the digits. Hence, I must add one digit to the left side and make this go back to 00. So that's exactly what we're doing in binary, and hence this result, right? In fact, 6-digit numbers, and we know this very well, a million minus 1 is what I can do, 10 to the power of 6 minus 1. That's why 99999. Again, a little bit of mathematics here, but the principles are really similar. Think through them a little bit, realize that what we are doing with the binary number is in fact quite similar to what we do with the decimal number. Now, all of this discussion that we are having is not standalone. In fact, it's in context of the activity that we are building. And you will see that as we start building the activity, all of these concepts will start becoming more and more clear as well, right? And that is how we learn at YByte, because concepts alone can be quite abstract. Sometimes you can't really understand why they are there. But once we see them being applied to some activity, they start making a lot of sense. Look at our website, www.ybyte.in, because that is how we learn Python programming. Take care. Thank you so much. Bye bye.